Hello and welcome to Who Wore It Better, where I review Raw and Smackdown back to back and try and figure out which show won for the week. It's go home week for Money in the Bank, which is good because I swear to God last week was go home week, but boy was I wrong. Raw opens up with the ladder summit as the men and women of Raw who are going to be in the ladder matches on Sunday are all atop their own individual ladders, not unlike the opening of Raw 2 years ago before Money in the Bank when you had all 6 guys on top of ladders. Still no less ridiculous to see today. My only question is, who's going to say they won the Money in the Bank in Appleton? Kurt Angle comes out and says that this match is the most grueling in WWE history. I guess we're forgetting about Hell in a Cell and Elimination Chamber until those pay-per-views come up several months down the line. Constable Baron Corbin comes out. Now last week I was hoping he was going to come out wearing a bobby hat, but boy, I was knocked for a loop because he came out with no hair. He was shaven, bald, or close to it. He was buzzed technically, but that was still a huge shock. I mean, a lot of people have been saying for a long time, this guy needs a haircut. I never thought we'd see the day, but here we are. You never would have expected it. He pulls off the bald look better than I thought he would. I think, again, because the fact that it's buzzed and not as clean shaven, squeaky clean bald, I think helps. But this is kind of an old school mentality thing, but like, you know, you've got a guy whose like look is tailor-made to attract heel heat. He's balding, he has long stringy hair, and he hates internet fans. So like, wouldn't you want to see him get his head shaved bald in like a hair match or something? You know, sell some tickets, sell some network subscriptions, and pay to see this guy get his head shaved bald. That to me is just booking 101. But you know, it's a very old school, antiquated kind of thing, the hair match. Last time we saw one in WWE, I believe, was Punk and Mysterio 5-6 years ago, something like that. So it's been a long time, and before that I think was WrestleMania 20. So they don't do it very often. And the time before that I think was X-Pac and Jeff Jarrett at SummerSlam 98. I could be missing a few, but I'm pretty sure those are all the hair matches in recent history, the recent 20-year history of WWE. So yeah, I would have liked to have seen him like lose his hair in some kind of match stipulation, but this is, it's a dramatic change up, and I welcome it. I'm on a tangent. Anyway, the men and the women all argue for a bit while they're atop their ladders, and Kevin Owens barges in the argument. He actually makes a cool little Hard Times reference at the anniversary of Dusty Rhodes' death. That's got a nice little touch there. More arguing. Alexa and Strowman each take turns like screaming to get everyone shocked into silence, and then Braun has the last word, get these hands. The segment ends. So this opening segment was a little bonkers, people standing on ladders, bald Baron Corbin, some arguing, some screaming. They really ran the gamut, Some of it was stupid, but also, to me, some of it was entertaining in its own way. So this opening bit to me just kind of balanced itself out. Besides this opener, we never see Kurt Angle or Baron Corbin again throughout the whole show. I get they'll probably kick this whole angle off more into high gear after Money in the Bank next Monday, but just the fact they introduced him, Corbin, that is, as the the constable last week and didn't really do much to follow up with it this week, I thought just was kind of a little lacking. The first match of the night's a fatal four-way: Alexa Bliss, Natalya, Ember Moon, and Sasha Banks. This is a very good match here. Sasha there's at one point around the match, Sasha does like a plancha off the top rope to the outside onto Natalya, which just kind of came out of nowhere to me. I thought she just kind of like passed out and fell off the top of the top rope for some reason, but it looked intentional after all. Natalya's knee injury also switched places because last week it was her right knee that was taped up and everything, and then this week it was her left one. So very watchful eyes saw that for sure. A really good match here. I think everyone looks good. In the end, Natalya gets Alexa Bliss in the sharpshooter, makes her tap out. So it's a fun, chaotic open. I really enjoyed this match, and we wouldn't be done with this yet because the men's fatal four-way would be in the main event. Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler squiggity squash Breezango. Then after the match, they cut a pretty strong promo. They say they're going to save the tag team division by destroying every other team in it. So I guess, my wish of this team splitting up in the near future is not going to happen. These two seem to be in it for the long haul. Up next, an advertised match of Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal as a precursor to their match at Money in the Bank. This was brought on over the weekend due to some social media squabbling. So I'm like, oh my God, they're going to punish us with this match twice in 1 week? Well, no, it was a bait and switch, and Jinder says, no, Roman, you're fighting Sunil Singh, which surprised Sunil Singh. But I did get a chuckle out of Jinder kind of pumping Sunil up before the match, like, you've been training so hard, you got this. And then, of course, it's a squash match, but Roman has to get the official pinfall after the spear and everything before Jinder runs in and beats him up and hits the Colossus. Jinder with the rare strong moment against Reigns finally. It's no Colossus through a wall or whatever, but it'll do for now. We get the B team versus Slater and Rhino. I died when it cut to Slater and Rhino in the ring, and you see Slater wearing a shirt saying Rhino made this, like with like the white tape over it, making the letters and stuff. I just died at that. Kind of their answer to the handmade B team shirts. I thought that was great. Dallas and Axel win with a double neck breaker. They remain undefeated, and then Bray and Matt teleport onto the stage and cut a promo on the B team. I thought it was a pretty entertaining promo after the match. Elias is in the ring cutting a promo on Seth Rollins for Money in the Bank. He brings out this custom painted Intercontinental title design guitar, which was allegedly gifted him by John Mayer. There's only one way this thing is going to go, folks. Seth Rollins comes out, the two have a fight. Rollins dumps Elias out of the ring, and like his back like rams into the corner of the apron, which made me cringe. And then Rollins talks for a bit. He destroys the custom painted guitar with the stomp. Coach thinks John Mayer is a hip hop artist for some reason, which then Tom Phillips throws some shade in the announcing on commentary the next night on SmackDown, which that was great. At least the promo game has been strong and on point tonight. For the most part, across the board, I think this segment was one of those moments. We had Bayley versus Ruby Riott of the Riott Squad, who hate snacks and neckties for some reason. A great match between these two. I love this match here, save for a noticeable botch by Bayley, where she's trying to slide from like one corner of the ring to the other with like a drop kick, but can't quite make it all the way through. They have to kind of cover for it. Didn't look very good, but everything else besides that I think was great. Ruby hits the Riott kick on Bayley after a well-timed distraction to win, and not only that, they mark her with lipstick, like black lipstick on her face, and she writes the R on her stomach. At least they didn't have to have her write slut to get heat. They like the old days, the good old days of the Attitude Era, when writing slut on a woman was classic heat. You would hope the announcers would have like played that up a little bit more. Like, oh my God, how disrespectful! She's like marking her insignia on Bayley, and they kind of downplayed it, which I thought was a little disappointing. I wish they could have played that up a little bit more, just to show like how heelish that kind of thing is. We get a face-to-face between Nia Jax and Ronda Rousey. It's being moderated by the coach. Nia describes to Ronda the difficulty of transitioning from UFC to wrestling. There's all this stuff in this that's legal in wrestling you're not used to defending, but I'm like, I feel like Ronda did at least some of the things she described in that rant at WrestleMania. So it's not like Ronda's totally unprepared. Nia says that Ronda's not ready, and then we get, what has to be probably the strongest Ronda Rousey promo we've had since she's been with the company. I know it's not saying much, but I feel like this was like leaps and bounds ahead of what she's normally doing on the microphone, especially the last couple of weeks on commentary, especially, which has been brutal. She talks about how people said I wasn't ready for this, and I did this. I was born ready, and then they fight for a bit in the armbar position where Nia tries to power out of the armbar. Ronda locks it in and makes Nia tap out. I think both looked really good here. As we've been talking about this whole storyline and how like there's a lot of inconsistencies in characters, especially with Nia Jax, and how Ronda's not the best talker. But I think that this moment here, this whole segment, I think was probably the strongest these two have been, and just the most like natural these two have felt, it seems, doing microphone work. After a really cool trailer for the Hardy Boys documentary on the network, I'm really excited to see. We then get No Way Jose versus Curt Hawkins, who just hit 200 straight losses, which even made ESPN's website, of all places. They play his music, but he doesn't make his way out the first time. The referee starts doing a 10 count, and right then I notice, hey, there's a masked rosebud at ringside. I bet you that's Curt Hawkins. And sure enough, it's Curt Hawkins. He tries to steal a win from Jose, but he kicks out. Jose wins the day here, beats Curt Hawkins, so the losing streak continues. Wah wah, sorry Curt. It's now time for Sami Zayn's obstacle course. Johnny Butabi from Hood Slam, friend of the show, has given me permission to use this line. I'll give him credit here for it, but this has officially turned into Nickelodeon guts. Sami goes into painstaking detail about all these obstacles that are like at the stage and on the ramp and around the ring and everything. It's like you get the feeling he's stretching for time because he's going into so much detail. He's taking forever talking until finally Bobby Lashley comes out and says, I'm going to beat Zayn in the obstacle course. So they're going to go one after the other, and like whoever has the fastest time wins. So Zayn does more and more talking, like, oh my God, just get to the beatdown already. I'm dying here. Lashley blasts through the obstacle course in under 50 seconds, but as soon as he's done, he gets jumped from behind by Sami Zayn. Haluva kick. Sami swings on the rope after the Haluva kick, which was great. And that's how it pretty much ends. Lashley looks like a dipshit here because he should have been able to see this from 1,000 miles away. He should have just walked out and just quietly, without saying a word, just destroyed all the different obstacles with his bare hands. He just walked out, just knocked this down, knocked that down, fuck you, and that's how it should have ended, really, because this was just so ridiculous how long it went until the final payoff of the beatdown. But honestly, if the entire point of this whole storyline, this whole god-awful segment was to see Sami swing on the rope like he was swinging on a vine, then the whole thing was worth it. If I'm being honest here, I think this Lashley Zayn storyline, like as bad as it is, like I think they know that. I think they know that we know this is a really awful storyline, so now they've just kind of thrown their hands up and said, fuck it, let's just try and make this as ridiculous and stupid as possible. They have just kind of like walked off the playing field and they're doing their own thing. Like we're playing soccer and they're playing Connect 4. Like they're playing a totally different game than we are. It's like they know that it's different. They don't care. They're just trying to do something like ridiculous and stupid. That's like I said last week, we went from men in drag to stolen valor accusations and an obstacle course. What is going on with this? They're just like throwing everything they can at this thing. They know it's stupid and they're just trying to get to the finish line as fast as they can. Our main event is the men's fatal four-way. Kevin Owens, Bobby Roode, Braun Strowman, and Finn Balor. All night, Kevin is working with Bobby and Finn to try and get the three of them to work together against Braun Strowman, and they actually do on and off in this match. At one point, they're on the stage at the announce table. Kevin does the frog splash off the top of the ladder through the table on a Braun Strowman. So I guess within a week, he got over his fear of heights pretty quickly. So Braun is dead for the time being. He comes back to life and he murders everyone. He kicks out of everyone's finishers in a row. How is this guy not the champion at this point? Come on. KO hits him with a ladder repeatedly, but Strowman gets up and murders him with a running power slam onto the ladder and wins the match. A really fun action-packed main event. I thought it was a good old time. SmackDown opens up with Paige in the ring, flanked by Naomi, Lana, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte. They're going to talk about the Money in the Bank ladder match, but hey, how do we know what they're talking about if they're not standing on ladders? Come on, guys. Lana's accent is completely gone now. She got one line in this promo, and there was no sign of a Russian accent at all. I know it was starting to vanish in the last several weeks. It's just gone now, which is fitting because she's wearing a Lana Day shirt with the Russian colors on it now. So bad timing. After some more talking, the Iconics interrupt. It's been a while since we've seen them. Then out come Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. A brawl ensues, and I think everyone's instinct, everyone's reaction is, oh god, 8-woman tag team match after the break. No, they showed restraint and waited until the main event to have the multi-woman tag team match. So good for them. Our first match is not the 8-woman tag, but rather Daniel Bryan versus Shelton Benjamin. A really good match here. A nice ending sequence from the yes lock attempts to a half crab into a heel hook. So Daniel Bryan wins here and gets both his signature submissions over. I'm surprised we didn't see a Cass beatdown after the match. We did see a backstage interview with him later in the show, which was pretty underwhelming, I thought. Speaking of underwhelming, we have Jerry the King Lawler in the Mean Gene Okerlund position interviewing the champion, AJ Styles. Styles' promo was pretty inconsequential. I feel like he could have cut that with Renee Young or Jerry Lawler or Mean Gene Okerlund or Jameson or the Man on the Moon. Didn't really matter because it was just kind of like, to me it sounded very similar to the other backstage AJ Styles promos we've seen in the last couple of months in the whole build of the storyline. I feel like Lawler being there was kind of superfluous. It was only there because they were in Memphis, and so hey, Lawler's there, like, let's just bring him in. But he, again, it could have been literally anybody interviewing Styles and it wouldn't have made a difference. We get Samoa Joe and his new haircut. Leave your thoughts about that in the comments below. Taking on Rusev, and the special guest referee is going to be The Miz, who's inserted himself into this matchup to further try and stir the pot. It's a decent match here. Rusev beats Joe after Joe's distracted with the refereeing antics of The Miz near the end. After the match, Rusev obtains a ladder. He lays out Joe with it. The Miz hits Rusev with a skull-crushing finale. Miz climbs the ladder, grabs the briefcase from on high, brings it down, opens it up in front of the announce team, and it's open up to reveal it's full of pancakes. There's no contract, it's only pancakes. Oh, you wascally New Day, you. We then see, like the last 30 seconds is just pure insanity, and I love it. You see The Miz is like throwing the pancakes everywhere. He's like, New Day! And then it cuts to the New Day. Xavier and Kofi are wearing one t-shirt together. It's like a two-headed monster, and Big E's cackling next to them with like a bowl of pancake batter. It's the weirdest damn thing. That is a wrestling without context picture waiting to go up on Twitter. And so, yeah, that final image of like The Miz, like the evil supervillain, New Day, with his hands full of pancakes, and then the New Day backstage was just amazing. We get Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jefe Hardy. It's been a while since we've seen the U.S. champion in action on TV in quite some time, so it's good to see him back here. Very competitive match. Hardy even hits the Twist of Fate and the Swanton on Shinsuke, but he can't capitalize because he's too hurt, so it's only a 2 count. Shinsuke hits the Kinshasa for the match to end in a DQ. Then he hits a Kinshasa to lay out Jeff, and then he does the 10 count for added hubris. It's a good match with a bit of a disappointing finish, even though I get why they did it. It's good for heel heat and the build of the title match. I just wish that, it's like, I know, I don't don't want it to be oversaturated and be beat to death, but I wish we saw more like actual one-on-one interaction. Not a match per se, but just more interaction between, like, it's the biggest championship on SmackDown, biggest championship of the company, arguably. So why are you having these like disjointed things where it's like Styles cuts a promo, Shinsuke has a match, and like ne'er do their paths cross? That to me was a little disappointing. Main event time, it's now a 10-woman tag team match because over the course of the evening they added Asuka to the babyface side and Carmella to the heel side. And a lot of stuff happening in this matchup. Everyone's getting a chance to shine. Charlotte even goes for 2 moonsaults. One of them has the knees up by Peyton Royce. The match ends when Asuka makes Carmella tap out to the Asuka lock, and she's in it for less time than Mandy Rose was in this match before she taps out. So by transitive property, which they use often here in this storyline here, Mandy Rose is now tougher than Carmella. Does Carmella tapping telegraph that she'll retain at Money in the Bank? Time will tell. If you go by the rule of, oh, if so-and-so loses, the exchange on the go-home show, they will win a pay-per-view, that isn't always 100% accurate, so I don't really know. You'll find out in my predictions video coming out this Friday what I ultimately will think will happen. Time now for me to decide which show won for the week, Raw or SmackDown. Which go-home show went home the hardest? This week, I'm going to go with Raw. They are breaking the streak this week, and they are winning this time around. I think of the 2 shows, Raw got me more jazzed for Money in the Bank than SmackDown did. Now, make no mistake, the opening segment with the ladders was kind of silly, and the Lashley Zayn segment, the obstacle course, guts, whatever you want to call it, was hot garbage. But I think the other stuff they dedicated time to, the matches in particular, both Fatal 4-Ways, Bayley and Ruby Riott, I think those were great. I think for the most part, everyone's promo game was really strong. I think that I love good promos. And even though these are scripted promos, at least I feel that they were delivered very well and with passion and intensity at times. I think it was very good there. With SmackDown, I enjoyed Bryan versus Benjamin. Great to see that match there. Shinsuke versus Jeff Hardy was also very entertaining, even though the finish wasn't that great, even though it worked for the storyline. But yeah, just the AJ Styles promo, I thought was kind of like, it didn't need to be there. Like, you could have either had it not at all, or you could have had things differently and it would have been the same, or you wouldn't have cared. It just didn't make me invested in the last man standing match. Shinsuke's stuff is more interesting than what AJ Styles is doing, which is unfortunate, but the fact they're not even intermingling at all in the build-up, they did last week at the contract signing, but like, you think for the go-home show they'd put a little more like build into it, but that's just, I wasn't feeling it for SmackDown this week. I think Raw overall was the stronger go-home show, in my opinion. But let me know what you thought about Raw and SmackDown this week in the comment section below, and be sure to vote which show you thought was better in the gimmick in the upper right hand corner of your screen. Be sure to thumbs up this video if you like it, subscribe to Wrestling with Wregret, buy the t-shirts at ProWrestlingTees.com with 2 brand new designs that just got uploaded, and go to Patreon.com/WrestlingWithWregret for exclusive perks and bonus content. I'm Brian Zane, and I'll see you next time.